Hi everyone, hope you're all well. Welcome to our YouTube channel, and in today's video we'll be diving into the exciting world of domain names and showing you how to purchase one for your own website. Whether you're starting a personal blog, launching a business, or just want to stake your claim on the web, securing the perfect domain name is the first step towards building your online identity and your online presence. If you're new to this, don't worry, we've got you covered. In this easy-to-follow guide, we'll walk you through the essential steps, share tips on choosing the right domain, and navigate you through the process of registering your very own web address. So let's get started on this exciting journey of finding and owning your unique slice of the internet. In this video, we'll also talk about some web hosting, what it is, and also how to set up your own web hosting for your website, as that's usually the next step after buying a domain and setting up your website as well. Before we start, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you won't miss out on any of our future tutorials and guides. Now, without further ado, let's learn how to buy a domain name. But what is a domain? A website domain is the unique address that identifies a website on the internet. It's the name that people type into their web browsers to access a particular site. It consists of two parts, the actual name and the top-level domain, in other words, the TLD. For example, in the domain name google.com, Google is the actual name and .com is the TLD. TLDs can indicate different types of websites, such as .com for commercial websites, .edu for educational institutions, and .org for non-profit organizations. Domain names have to be registered through a domain registrar, which is a company that manages the reservation of domain names. Once a domain is registered, the owner can use it to create a website and set up email addresses and lots more. It's important to choose a domain name that is easy to remember, relevant to your website or business, and available to register. Additionally, some TLDs are more popular than others and can affect the perception of your website, so it's important to choose a TLD that fits the purpose of your website. So, how do you buy a domain? There's general steps to buying a domain. The first thing that you need to do is choose a domain registrar. There are loads of domain registrars available, like GoDaddy, Namecheap, and Google Domains. And you want to choose a registrar that offers the domain extension that you want, but also has a good reputation for customer service and security. Once you've chosen a registrar, you need to use their search domain tool to find domain names that match your desired name and TLD. If the domain name you want is already taken, the registrar may suggest alternatives, or you can try a different TLD. And then after selecting an available domain name, follow the steps to register and purchase the domain. And you'll need to provide your contact and payment information and agree to the registrar's terms of service. And then you'll need to configure it with your website hosting. And this can involve setting up domain name servers like DNS, and configuring domain settings, which can usually be done through the registrar's website. We'll go through some of the steps today. As I mentioned before, there's loads of domain registrars out there that have good reputation, good pricing, and good customer service. In today's example, we'll use GoDaddy. GoDaddy is one of the most popular domain registrars in the world. They are known for offering a wide range of domain extensions and affordable pricing for domain registrations. With GoDaddy, they do have the domain search that allows you to search for available domain names quickly and easily, and they also offer suggestions for alternative domain names if your desired name is already taken. They do offer competitive pricing for domain registrations, with a lot of domains are available for less than $20 a year. They also offer discounts for bulk purchases or multiple year registrations. And they also have a variety of additional services to help you build and manage your website, like their own website hosting, their own website builders, email hosting, and loads more. They also offer a domain management dashboard where you can manage all of your domains in one place in case you have more than one. And they have a large customer support team available 24/7 to help you with any issues that you may encounter. And they offer phone, chat, and email support, as well as a really dedicated knowledge base with helpful articles and tutorials. So to get started with GoDaddy, what you want to do is go onto their website and you're looking for the domain search tool up here. And you're basically just going to type in the domain that you want including the TLD that you want as well. and then you just want to click on search domain. So what GoDaddy will do then will tell you if your domain is taken, and if it is, they will offer a alternative, and if it's not, then they'll be able to give you the opportunity to buy it. So in this example, you can see that the domain that I wanted is taken. So what I'm going to do is look at the alternatives. There's one over here that they recommend. You can see they got great alternative. So it's just changing the TDL. And then if you scroll down a little bit, you can see even more domain names that are similar to the one that I wanted, but different, maybe slightly with slight variations. And you can go through each of them as well. Maybe you like the look of some of them more, and you can see the pricing for all of them as well. What GoDaddy will also do will kind of push for you to buy bundles of domains, and this can be useful for a few things. If you have the different TLDs for your domain name, it just means then you have full ownership of that domain name, and then you can redirect each of the other domain names to the main one, but you don't have to. You can always just stick to the one that you have. Once you decide which one that you want, what you want to do is click on make it yours. So you want to look at the pricing, and you can see those different kind of pricing, but they also offer loads of offers. So for example, this one is originally $34.99, but you can get it for as little as $1.99 with a 2-year registration, for the first year with a 2-year registration. So meaning that you'll register it for 2 years, but you'll pay $1.99 for the first year. And what you want to do is click on make it yours. And then you can see it's just adding to the cart. And once it's been added to the cart, you can see the pricing on it as well. What you can do is buy multiple domains. If there's other domains that you want to buy, you can just add as many domains as you need and then just add it to the cart. And then once you're done, you just want to click on continue to cart. You'll need to create an account in order to purchase and then manage your domains. And then once you've created an account, it'll ask you to finalize any kind of details. So there's additional features that GoDaddy offer, and one of them is the data privacy for your domain. So GoDaddy anyway includes free privacy protection to guard your personal info, meaning that as mentioned before, you can find out who owns the site and the contact info, using the Whois database to search for it, but you can always hide that information. This is one way to do it, and GoDaddy's domains include that free protection. But they also offer even more protection. So in the full domain protection, they have additional security protection that prevents hackers from stealing your domain or making other unauthorized changes. Adds 2-factor verification, and it also matches length of domain term as well. And that is another additional price per year on top of what you're already paying for your domain. Then they also have the ultimate domain protection, which is everything that the full domain has. And then it also allows you to hold on to your domain name for an extra 90 days if your billing method expires. Seeing as because you are only registering that domain for say 1 year, it just means then after the end of that 1 year, if you don't renew that registration immediately, then that domain becomes free for anyone to buy. It doesn't matter if you've had that domain for maybe like 2, 3, 4 years. As soon as the registration expires and you haven't renewed it, it's free for anyone to buy. And this can be really disastrous if you rely on your domain name a lot, especially if you've got a high traffic website. People can then use that domain name and move all that traffic to their own website and things like that. So with the ultimate domain protection, it does allow you to hold on to your domain name for another 90 days even after your method expires, because and just means then you have more time, and it's just a kind of an extra layer of security. And then again, that's just another fee per year on top of what you're already paying. So it's up to you how you want to, which of the privacy protections that you want. But you do get the free privacy protection for your domain name, so it'll replace your personal info with proxy information in the Whois directory. There's also additional things like adding a professional email, things like that. And then once you're done, you just want to click on continue to cart. at this point you can see an overview of what you're buying. So you can get the domain registration, you can decide how long you want the domain registration for, and then once you've selected what you want to buy and selected all the features, you just want to click on I'm ready to pay, and then provide your contact, payment information, and agree to GoDaddy's terms of service. Once you have purchased a domain, you'll need to configure it to work with your website hosting, and if you are already hosted with GoDaddy, then you can do it through GoDaddy's website, but it can also involve setting up your own DNS and configuring your own domain settings. The process of buying a domain is fairly similar with the other popular domain registrars like Namecheap and 123reg. You search for the domain, you select how long you want to register it for. If they have any additional features, you just select as many as you want and then just pay for it and then manage everything within the domain. GoDaddy is one of the most popular domain registries in the world, but it has faced some criticism for their pushing a lot of their marketing tactics, and some users have reported issues with their customer service, but they remain a really popular choice for domain registration and offer a variety of useful features for website owners as well. So how do you pick a good domain name for your website? Choosing a good domain name for your website is really important in building your online presence, and you need to make sure that your domain name is user-friendly and SEO-friendly. Some things that you want to consider, you want to keep it simple and memorable. So you want to choose a name that's easy to remember and easy to type. So avoid using too many numbers, hyphens, or complicated words that can be confusing for users. You want to use keywords and just incorporate the relevant keyword into your domain name, and that those words could kind of describe the content or the focus of your website. This can help with the SEO and make it easier for users to find your site as well. You want to consider the TLD, so the top level domain, and that's basically that extension that we talked about at the end of the domain name, like .com, .org, .net. So you want to choose a TLD that is appropriate for your website and target audience. So for example, .com is the most popular and widely recognized TLD, but there are loads of other options that may be more relevant to your specific niche or industry. And you want to, before registering a domain name, you want to make sure to check for any potential trademark or infringement issues. You can search this in the Patent and Trademarks Office database to see if your desired domain name is already trademarked or anything like that. So by following these guidelines, you can choose a domain name that is user-friendly, SEO-friendly, and reflects the brand identity of your website. Using the Whois database. So the Whois database is a publicly available directory, and it contains information about domain name registrants, and this information can be used to look up the owner, registrar, and other details about a particular domain name. So you want to look up the Whois lookup website, and there's loads of websites that offer Whois lookup services like ICANN, Whois, and Whois.net, Whois.net, and Who.is. So you just want to pick from any one of those. And then usually with them, what you need to do is look for the search bar and just type into the search bar the name of the name of the website that you want to know who owns, and you just want to click on search. And then what they'll do is they'll give you info on the registrar, like so who did they use to register? In this case, it's GoDaddy. When it expires, when it was registered, their name servers and things like that. And the registrar data is this part here. Now, if you remember from when we were buying a domain from GoDaddy, they did offer all of GoDaddy's domains offer privacy. So all of the contact information, register information has been replaced by a proxy. So we don't actually know their actual address. And this can be the case for a lot of the domains that you have. A lot of domain owners choose to keep their information private or use a third-party service to mask their contact information. And there's also some Whois lookup results that may show limited or incomplete information. Additionally, some domain registrars may have their own Whois lookup tools that provide more detailed information about the domain registration, but the ones that we have here will only show what's there. And in this case, they're all being protected by the GoDaddy's domain protection. So now let's talk about web hosting. As mentioned before, after you purchase your domain name, the next thing that you might want to do is set up your web hosting. And that's a wrap on our journey through the fascinating world of website domains and web hosting. I hope this video provided you with valuable insights into the importance of choosing the right domain name and how it impacts your online presence, and also how to navigate between the different web hosting options that you have out there. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with others. And for more exciting content like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions or you need further assistance, drop them in the comment below. Thanks for watching, and until the next time. Starting off, what is web hosting? So web hosting is a service that allows individuals or organizations to make their website accessible on the internet. Web hosting companies provide space on a server to store files and data that make up a website, and then they make that space available to users who want to publish their websites online. So when you sign up for a web hosting service, you are essentially renting space on a server, and that server is connected to the internet. And this allows you to store websites, files, and data on the server and makes your website accessible to visitors all around the world. Web hosting services typically provide features like website builders, domain registration, email hosting, and technical support. And as mentioned before, there are different types of web hosting services available, including shared hosting, dedicated hosting, and VPS hosting. And each of them have their own advantages and disadvantages depending on the needs of the user. Starting off with, the first and most common type of hosting is shared hosting. So shared hosting is a type of web hosting in which multiple websites share the resources of one single server. That means that your website is hosted alongside other websites on the same server, and that you share resources such as CPU, RAM, and disk space with those other websites as well. To show you what that kind of looks like, so in this example, you can see the server is here, and there's 3 different websites, and they're all using the server resources, the resources from the same server. They're all sharing these resources as well. So your site is hosted on the same server as other sites as well. It's generally the most affordable option and popular type of hosting, and it's a good option for small businesses, individuals, and organizations that are just starting out and don't require a lot of resources or high levels of customization. Since the cost of the server is divided among multiple users, shared hosting is usually more affordable than other types of hosting, but there are some potential drawbacks to shared hosting. One, for example, is that you are sharing resources with other websites. So if, for example, if this website on the server experiences like a sudden spike in traffic or uses up a lot of resources, it can slow down or even temporarily crash your website as well. Additionally, you have less control over server configurations and customization options as well, and this can be limited in terms of the amount of storage and bandwidth that you can use. To go into a bit more detail, some benefits of shared web hosting, one of them is affordability. So as mentioned before, shared hosting is generally the most affordable type of web hosting since the cost of the server is divided among multiple users, and this makes it a great option for individuals, small businesses, and organizations with limited budgets. And it's quite easy to use. So shared hosting is usually very user-friendly, with many hosting providers offering tools and features that can make it easy to set up and manage your website. You don't need to have technical knowledge or expertise to get started with shared hosting. Another advantage is maintenance. So with shared hosting, the hosting provider is responsible for maintaining the server and ensuring that it is running smoothly. And this means that you don't need to worry about performing updates, backups, or security patches yourself. Another benefit is support. So most shared hosting providers offer customer support to help you with any issues or questions that you might have. This can be especially helpful for those who are new to web hosting or have limited technical experience. And lastly, scalability. So a lot of shared hosting plans offer the ability to easily upgrade your resources like storage and bandwidth as your website grows and needs to change. And that means that you can start with a smaller plan and scale up as necessary without having to switch to a different type of hosting. How much you're able to scale up really depends on the type of hosting provider you're using, but it is generally kind of a good way to kind of scale up as well. It can be a good option shared hosting is a really good option for affordable, if you're looking for affordability and easy to use, but it's important to carefully consider your website's needs and traffic levels before choosing a hosting plan, as shared hosting may not be sufficient for a high traffic website or those with more complex requirements. So this falls under sort of some of the drawbacks, which is limited resourcing. So because you are sharing server resources with other websites, your website may experience slower load times or performance issues during periods of high traffic or resource usage. This can be especially problematic if you have a high traffic website or require a lot of resources. There's also a slight lack of control. With shared hosting, you have limited control over server configurations and customization options. And this can be a drawback if you require a specific software configuration or need to make advanced customizations to your server environment. You won't have that kind of control with a shared web hosting provider. And the other drawback is security. So shared hosting can pose some security risks, as a vulnerability in one website on the same server can potentially affect other websites on that server as well. So it's important to choose a reputable hosting provider that takes security seriously and implements measures to protect their customers on all their servers. Another drawback is restrictions, and this is similar to sort of lack of control. But a lot of shared hosting providers have restrictions on the type of software or applications that can be installed on the servers, and that can limit the functionality of your website as well. And lastly, some email issues. So some shared hosting providers may have limitations on email sending or receiving, which can cause issues with email functionality in general. Overall, shared hosting can be a great option for those looking for an affordable and easy to use hosting solution, but it's important to choose carefully, consider your website needs and potential limitations before choosing a hosting plan. So when it comes to shared web hosting, there are lots of shared hosting providers available, and the best one for you will depend on your specific needs and budgets. But here are some popular shared hosting providers currently out there. One option is Bluehost. So Bluehost is a really popular shared hosting provider that offers affordable plans, easy to use website builders, and excellent customer support. They are also a recommended recommended by WordPress as a top hosting provider. So if you are planning to use WordPress as your main CMS, then this might sort of strengthen your decision using Bluehost. Some details about Bluehost shared hosting plans. If you go onto the website and go into the shared hosting page, you can see their plans laid out here. They offer 4 hosting plans: Basic, Choice Plus, Online Store, and Pro. The basic plans includes one website, unmetered bandwidth, and a free domain name for the first year as well. The Plus plan includes unlimited websites, bandwidth and email accounts, as well as domain privacy and site backups as well. And the Choice Plus plan includes all of the Plus features, as well as code guard, basic backup, and domain privacy protection as well. So they've got a range of different hosting options, and you can sort of see that they're kind of priced as well. They're also really good for WordPress hosting. So Bluehost offer shared hosting platforms specifically designed for WordPress users, and these plans come with unlimited bandwidth as well. They come with pre-installed WordPress as well, automatic update, and they also have specific WordPress support as well. Their shared hosting plans comes with a range of features, including a website builder, a really easy to use cPanel, email accounts, SSL certificates, and a 30-day money-back guarantee as well. They also offer 24/7 customer support via phone, chat, or email. In terms of the performance, Bluehost shared hosting plans come with unlimited bandwidth, but they do have some restrictions on CPU usage and memory usage. However, they use SSDs, or solid-state drives, and a content delivery network, otherwise known as a CDN, to help improve website speed and performance. So they are still quite fast with their load times as well. Overall, Bluehost shared hosting service offers a wide range of features and plans to suit different website needs and budgets. Their focus on WordPress hosting and website builders makes them a good choice for a beginner or those looking for an easy-to-use shared hosting option as well. Up next is HostGator. So HostGator is a web hosting provider that offers a variety of hosting services, including shared hosting. And here are some details on their hosting services. So HostGators offer 3 shared hosting plans. They have the Hatchling, Baby, and the Business plan, otherwise known as the e-commerce plan. The Hatchling plan includes one domain, unlimited storage, bandwidth, and an email account as well. The Baby plan includes unlimited storage. They have up to 5 websites, and they have $500 Google Ad Spend match credit, as well as $100 Microsoft advertising credit as well. And then you have the Business plan that has all of the features of the Baby plan, with a lot more like positive SSL upgrades, dedicated IP addresses as well, and some SEO tools as well. So in terms of features, all of the plans offer quite a lot of features as well. They all come with the features like website builder, an easy-to-use cPanel, one-click installs for popular applications like WordPress or Joomla and things like that, and 24/7 customer support via phone, chat, or email. They also offer a money-back guarantee as well, similar to Bluehost. And it's also similar to Bluehost. They have word plans specific specifically designed for WordPress users, and these plans come with pre-installed WordPress, automatic updates, and WordPress-specific support. In terms of their pricing, their hosting plans, you can see they start at $275 a month, and they can go up to $525 a month, and these are usually introductory offers. Some of the drawbacks of HostGator, though, is that their renewal fees tend to be a little bit more expensive as well. Overall, HostGator's shared hosting services offer a range of features and plans to suit different website needs and budgets. Their focus on customer support and website builders make them a good choice for beginners or those looking for an easy-to-use hosting solution. So up next is VPS hosting. VPS stands for Virtual Private Server. And it's a type of hosting that provides a virtual server environment for a website. So this is essentially what it looks like. So with VPS hosting, you start off with the actual resources. So a physical server is divided. This physical server here is divided into multiple virtual servers, each with its own dedicated resources. So CPU, RAM, storage, each of these virtual servers have their own dedicated amount of them. And that means that on a web VPS, that a website on a VPS has access to more resources than shared hosting, which can result in improved performance and reliability as well. With VPS hosting, you have a lot more control over the server environment than shared hosting. With VPS, you can sort of customize your server settings, install software, applications, and access the server via remote desktop. This makes VPS a good hosting choice for users who require a little bit more flexibility and control over their hosting environment. VPS hosting also allows you to easily scale up or down your resources as needed, and that makes it a good choice for websites that experience lots of kind of fluctuations in traffic or require additional resources during peak seasons. In terms of security, VPS provides a higher level of security than shared hosting, as each virtual server is isolated from another virtual server. And it's also isolated from the actual physical server itself. That means if one website is compromised, it won't affect the others that are on the same server as well. In terms of pricing, VPS hosting is generally more expensive than shared hosting, but it's less expensive than dedicated hosting. Pricing varies depending on the amount of resources needed, and many VPS hosting providers offer different plans to suit different needs and budgets. Overall, VPS hosting provides a good balance of resources, control, and scalability, as well as security as well, making it a popular choice for medium-sized businesses, high-traffic websites, or even users who require more control over their hosting environment than shared hosting providers can. Some of the benefits of VPS hosting, as we mentioned before, is dedicated resources. So VPS hosting provides dedicated resources like CPU, RAM, storage, bandwidth, each to the individual virtual server. And that means that resources aren't shared with other websites on the same physical server, and it results in improved performance and reliability. Then you have scalability. So VPS hosting allows users to easily scale up or down the resources as needed. And this means that if a website experiences a sudden surge in traffic, additional resources can be added to handle the increased demand. It's also quite reliable. So VPS hosting can be more reliable than shared hosting, as websites on a VPS are not affected by the performance or security issues of other websites on the same server. And then you have control as well. So VPS hosting provides users with more control over their server environment than shared hosting, and users can customize the server settings, install software applications, and access the server via remote desktop as well. And lastly, you have customizability. So VPS hosting allows users to customize their new server environment to their needs, like installing custom software and configuring their server settings. And that's not something that's offered with shared hosting as well. Saying that, though, there are some potential drawbacks of VPS hosting. One of the main difference between VPS hosting and shared hosting is that with VPS hosting, a lot more technical knowledge is required. VPS hosting requires more technical knowledge and expertise, as users are responsible for managing their own server environment, and this includes installing software, configuring server settings, and handling server maintenance tasks. The cost of VPS hosting can be more expensive than shared hosting, although it is generally less expensive than dedicated hosting. So depending on the hosting provider and the resources needed, the cost of VPS hosting can add up over time. Then with server management as well, with VPS hosting, users are responsible for managing their own server environment, and this can include handling security updates, backups, and server maintenance tasks as well. This can become really time consuming and may require additional technical knowledge. There are some restrictions as well. And with limited scalability. So while VPS allows for easy resource scaling, there are still some limitations and restrictions on the amount of resources that can be allocated to a virtual server. This means that with websites that are very high traffic or resource requirements, may eventually need to switch to dedicated hosting as well. Overall, VPS hosting is a good option for users who need more resources and control than sharing hosting can provide, but they can't exactly cover the cost yet of a dedicated hosting provider, but just to be aware of the potential drawbacks to consider, like the cost, server management, and technical knowledge that's going to be required. So when it comes to web hosting providers that offer VPS services, there are lots that are out there. They will offer a range of VPS hosting plans with varying resources, pricing, and features. So it's important to research and compare the options to find the best fit for your needs. One example is Hostinger. So Hostinger is a really popular web hosting provider that offers VPS hosting services. And some details about their hosting plans. They offer 8 different hosting plans, ranging from 1 vCPU all the way up to 8 vCPU as well. Prices can range from £3 a month to about £60 a month, so there is a variation of the pricing as well. Each VPS plan comes with dedicated resources including CPU, RAM, storage, and bandwidth, and users could choose between different operating systems like Ubuntu, CentOS, Debian, and Fedora. Hostinger VPS hosting plans are scalable, which means users can easily upgrade or downgrade their resources as they need. And this allows users to start with a smaller plan and scale up as their website grows. They also have lots of security features, including DDoS protection, firewalls, and SSL certificates. They also offer daily backups and a 24/7 monitoring system to ensure that the security and stability of the VPS hosting environment. Hostinger also have a really good customer support, so they offer 24/7 customer support via live chat and email, and they also provide a knowledge base with tutorials and articles to help users manage their VPS servers. Overall, Hostinger's VPS hosting plans provide a good balance of resources, scalability, control, security, and affordability, making them a really popular choice for users who need more resources and control than shared hosting can provide, but they don't want to invest in dedicated hosting. Another popular VPS hosting provider is InMotion. So InMotion is a host provider that have quite a few hosting plans and quite a few different billing cycles as well. Their hosting offers 4 different hosting plans ranging from $10 a month to about $45 a month, but these again are introductory offers, and these are offers where if you were to just purchase on a 3-year cycle as well, so obviously the longer that you have your billing cycle, the more savings that there are in that. In terms of the resources, each VPS plan comes with dedicated resources including CPU, RAM, storage, and bandwidth, and users can choose between different operating systems like CentOS, Ubuntu, Debian as well. All of their hosting plans come with a cPanel, which is a really popular and easy to use interface for managing web hosting accounts, and users can also access their VPS server via SSH or remote desktop. In terms of scalability, InMotion's VPS hosting plans are scalable, which means that they can upgrade and downgrade their resources as needed. So you can start off with a smaller plan and then scale up as you grow. And in terms of their customer support, InMotion offers 24/7 customer support via phone, live chat, and email. They also provide a knowledge base similar to Hostinger, that's filled with kind of tutorials and articles to help you manage your VPS servers as well. Overall, InMotion's VPS hosting plan provides a good balance of resources, control, security, and customer support. So they're a very popular choice for users who need a little bit more resources and control than shared hosting can provide, but don't want to invest just yet in dedicated hosting. Next up then we have dedicated hosting. So dedicated hosting is a type of web hosting in which the client rents an entire physical server that is dedicated solely to the website or application. So this is sort of how it works. So you see you have your website here, and it has full control over this one server. So this one server is dedicated only to this one website. So in dedicated hosting, the client has complete ownership and control over the server, including the hardware, software, and operating system. So that means in terms of server resources, the client has access to all of the resources that are available on that server, including CPU, RAM, storage, and bandwidth. This allows for high performance and high fast load times, even for high traffic websites or applications. On top of that, then it means there's more room for customizability. So with dedicated hosting, the client has complete control over the server configuration and includes choosing the operating system, installing custom software, configuring any security settings as well. In terms of security as well, dedicated hosting offers a high level of security as the client has complete control over the server and can implement themselves advanced security measures like firewalls and intrusion detection systems. In terms of technical support, most dedicated hosting providers offer 24/7 technical support, which can be essential for managing a complex server environment. But overall, the technical support really comes internally. So you, either yourself or someone you may hire, you may need to hire someone to manage and support you in the managing of your dedicated server. And in terms of pricing, dedicated hoster is typically more expensive than any other type of web hosting, as the client is paying for the entire physical server as well as the associated maintenance and support costs as well. Some advantages of dedicated web hosting is the high performance. So with dedicated web hosting, the server resources are not shared with other websites. This means that your website can handle high levels of traffic without ever slowing down. Then customizability as well. So dedicated hosting allows for greater control and flexibility in terms of server configuration and software installation, and this can be particularly important for businesses with specific technical requirements. Next up, you have security. So with dedicated hosting, you can have complete control over security measures like firewalls, encryption, intrusion detection, which can help protect your website and data. It's a lot more reliable because you don't have to worry about other websites on the server impacting your website's uptime or performance. And then it's also scalable as well. So dedicated hosting can be more easily scaled than other types of hosting as you add resources or upgrade to a higher tier plan as your business grows. There are also some drawbacks of dedicated hosting, and the main one being the higher cost. So dedicated hosting is a lot more expensive than shared hosting or VPS hosting, as the client is renting an entire physical server. And as mentioned before, technical experience is mainly down to yourself. So managing a dedicated server can be more complex than other types of hosting, and you would need a certain level of technical expertise. And this can be a challenge for businesses without an in-house IT team or technical staff as well. Maintenance can also be a little bit more time consuming as the client is responsible for maintaining and update the server hardware, software, and security measures, which can be time consuming and also really costly as well. Dedicated hosting is a little bit of overkill for small websites. So dedicated hosting is quite unnecessary for like small websites, blogs, because the resources of the server may not be fully utilized. And lastly, some limited resources is still an issue. So while dedicated hosting provides greater resources than other types of hosting, it's still limited by the physical capacity of the server, and that means if your website experiences unexpected traffic spikes, the server may not be able to handle the load. Overall, dedicated hosting is a good choice for businesses or organizations that require high levels of performance, customizability, and security, but you need to have the right budget and technical expertise to manage a dedicated server. But for small websites or businesses with limited budgets or technical experience, it's not one that's recommended at all. Other types of hosting like VPS or shared hosting might be better. There are lots of popular dedicated hosting providers available on the market. One of the more popular ones is Liquid Web. Liquid Web is a premium hosting provider that offers a fully managed dedicated hosting service designed to provide customers with high levels of performance, security, and customization. Some of the features of Liquid Web's hosting plans include a fully managed service. So Liquid Web's dedicated hosting service includes a team of expert technicians who manage the server hardware, software, and security measures, allowing customers to focus on their business instead of server maintenance. They also have high performance servers as well. So Liquid Web uses the latest server hardware, including Intel processors with SSD storage as well. And this kind of provides customers with fast and reliable hosting. They also have multiple data center locations located in the US, Europe, and Asia. So that provides customers with the option to choose a server location that's closest to their target audience. And their dedicated hosting service allows for a high degree of customization, including the ability to choose the operating system, control panel, and software applications installed on the server as well. Liquid Web have excellent customer service. Their support team is available 24/7 to assist customers with any issues or questions that they may have. And lastly, security. So Liquid Web provides customers with advanced security measures like firewalls, DDoS protection, and SSL certificates to help protect their website and data. Overall, Liquid Web's dedicated hosting service is a really good choice for businesses or organizations that require a high level of performance, security, and customization, as long as they have the budget for a premium hosting service as well. So as well as Liquid Web, GoDaddy is another provider that offers dedicated hosting service. It's a really popular web hosting provider anyway, and they offer dedicated hosting services designed for businesses and organizations that require the high levels of performance and security and control that we talked about. Some features of GoDaddy's dedicated hosting providing service include managed service. So GoDaddy's dedicated hosting service includes a team of expert technicians who manage the server hardware, software, and security measures, allowing customers to focus on their business instead of server maintenance. They have multiple data locations, so they have data centers located in the US, Europe, and Asia. So that means you have the option to choose a server that's located closest to your target audience. GoDaddy uses the latest server hardware, including Intel processors, SSD storage, and that provides customers with fast and reliable hosting. And you have, and their hosting allows for a high degree of customization as well, including the ability to choose the operating system, control panel, software applications as well. Similar to Liquid Web, GoDaddy does offer customers with advanced security measures like firewalls, DDoS protection, and SSL certificate. And their customer support team is available 24/7 to help with any issues or questions that you might have. So overall, GoDaddy's dedicated hosting service is a really good choice for businesses or organizations that require high levels of performance, security, and control. Overall, their dedicated hosting service is a good choice for businesses or organizations that require high levels of performance, security, and control. And they want a well-known and reputable hosting provider. But it's worth noting that some users have reported some issues with customer support and pricing transparency, so it's important you do your research and read reviews as well before making a decision. So now that you understand the different types of hosting providers, some of their hosting platforms, the advantages of each type of hosting, and some hosting providers that provide those types of hosting, you need to also think about what to consider when deciding what type of hosting to use. There are several key factors to consider, and some of the main things are website requirements. So the first thing to consider is the specific requirements of your website. This includes factors like the amount of traffic you expect, the size of your website, and any special software or applications you need to run. Performance is another critical factor in website hosting, as slow load times and downtime can hurt your website's user experience and search engine rankings as well. So you want to consider the type of hosting that will offer the best performance for your size of website. Budget is an important consideration whenever you are choosing a hosting plan, as different types of hosting have varying costs, as we've seen before. So make sure to choose a plan that fits your budget and also offers the features and performance that you need. You also need to look at your own kind of technical expertise that you have, because depending on the type of hosting you choose, you may need to have the technical experience or expertise you needed to manage and maintain your server. So make sure you have the necessary skills or can hire someone to manage your hosting if you need to. And you also need to consider scalability. So consider whether the hosting plan that you choose can easily accommodate growth and increase traffic over time. Some hosting providers offers plans that can be easily scaled up as your website grows. And lastly, security. So website security is important to protect your website and your users' data. Consider those security measures provided by the hosting provider, like firewalls, SSL certificates, and backup options. By considering these factors, you can choose the type of hosting that best fits your website needs and your budget as well.